Pickacard messages from your younger self. Here are your options. Make your selection, and I'll see you at your reading. Hi friends, my name is Griselle with Psychicmd, and I'm here to do your reading. So pile number 1, I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell for additional good juju in 3, 2, 1. That was interesting. One more time. Here we go. So pile number 1. What would your younger self say to you today? These messages are meant to be encouraging. Let's find out. Pile number 1, we have best friends. You're my best friend. True friends stick together no matter what. We have exercise, run, walk, swim, or otherwise move your body. This will give you more energy and more happiness. And we have light. See the light within yourself and everyone else. That is so pretty. So pile number 1, first of all, you chose the image on the right-hand side of the screen. And the downloads I got from this initially, I was really focused on the head part. Okay, so it seemed like a rocket ship, and I feel like maybe when you were younger, you had a lot of dreams, you were a visionary, and you thought about going places that maybe nobody else would have thought. You had such a vivid imagination that I feel like, sometimes it was really tough to ground you back to earth, and I resemble those remarks, by the way. No shame in that game. But the first thing that I want to tell you is that pile number 1, based on this, your younger self wants to really communicate that it's not too late. It's never too late to achieve your dreams some way, somehow, in some shape, right? So sometimes we do outgrow things. They don't have to be exactly the same. Like if we wanted to be a lawyer, we want to be an astronaut, we wanted to be a hairdresser, all those things. We could do those things in maybe a different way, shape, or form. So if you still have a passion for that, basically your younger self is asking you not to abandon those things. And whatever that means, if you like to hairstyle, if you like to color hair, if you'd like to write poetry, all the things, you still have a capability of doing that with maybe friends and family, or within like a small pool of people that you can meet on the internet. There's a lot of different ways to figure out ways around it. So you don't necessarily have to have like your certification, right? You can just go and read poetry or start writing poetry once again. And your younger self wants to remind you that they were your biggest cheerleader and not to abandon them. I feel like there has been like a separation between you and your younger self. Obviously, I mean, that's us back in the day. That could be 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 25 years ago. Doesn't make a difference. But I feel like, look at I'm being led to think of the My Little Ponies. Remember that when you guys were maybe younger, if you were in that era. But look at all the beautiful hair. So something about hair, maybe braiding hair, things like that, or making gifts that you never would have thought you would have made in different ways, shapes, and forms, right? So I feel like your younger self is saying, don't abandon me. Don't abandon your younger self because time has flown by, or maybe your body has gotten to be different and you don't have the capabilities that you did back then. But there are different ways to do things. If you can't physically style hair currently, then maybe perhaps you can get an app where it shows you that, you know, you can like add different hair and different styles, and you can work in that manner, like in the digital world, if that's a thing. And one thing that I feel like you're not realizing about yourself that your younger self wants to remind you of is that you are indeed a unicorn, and don't let go of that fact that you are still magical, that you are still lovable. But they want to encourage you. They want to encourage you. Listen to me talk. Me speak so pretty. So they want to encourage you to get out more, to exercise more within the capacity that you have, right? I used to have a coworker who would walk with a walker, very limited mobility. And I've never been, by the way, one to be super exercisey. That's not even a word. So that's how much That's what goes to show, right? How much I know about that world. But things have been different in my old age, I'll tell you that. So, with my former coworker, I would, we'd sit on the chair, and I don't know where I got this from, but I would show her like little exercises that I learned from the internet, from people that had limited range of motion, and we would just do them together, and it was pretty fun. And my other coworkers thought I was kind of crazy, but I get that often. So maybe exercise, whether it's, if you can only sit in one area, or if you can't, you have limited range of motion, work with what you have and delight in your body that has been given to you, regardless of what shape, what status is in right now, what condition, kind of a thing, because there's always a way to like really try to improve on that, and this is, I'm going to say for 90% of the people out there, this would be true. But also just even looking at maybe going on a little nature walk and picking daisies, or walking down meadows, or looking at nature, getting close to water, things like that. Just remember that life is not bleak and gray, and you're not up against a hard, what do they call it? Up between a rock and a hard surface or something like that. So that could be a thing as well, where you're feeling kind of confined, and your younger self wants you to remember that in spite of all those things of being confined, that there's a reason to bring joy into your life. And there's a reason to bring a little bit more levity and a little bit more beauty, whatever you consider beauty. Some people love needlepoint. Some people love sewing. Some people love to forage in the literal forest, right? Chopping wood, or, braiding hair, or I don't know. But there are many different things that you can kind of explore to really bring out the best in you currently. And I'm feeling like I'm being led to that. It's like that would be a light for you. And don't forget that you are a light, that you shine for the world. See the light within yourself and everyone else. And I'm looking at a little bit like maybe feeling confined, and maybe perhaps this message is saying if you exercise your body a little bit more and embrace yourself, because I feel like there has been some form of self-hate. And again, no judgment here. I really resemble that remark, by the way. I've had to really work my way hard into getting to even like myself as a human being, as a person. I would say through childhood trauma has been a constant struggle. But with all these iridescent colors right here and the flowy mane and things like that, I feel like this is a message stating that you are free, that you're no longer tangled, even though these are beautiful. You're not tangled and woven the way you used to be, that you do have a lot of freedom still, even in spite of us feeling like a lot of times, well, we don't have the finances, or we don't have, I'm going to leave this here because that is so pretty. We don't have the this, we don't have that, right? We often have a lot of reasons why we can't do what we really want to do. But your younger self is urging you to really do within reason, within, even modified ways, take care of yourself. Before I got really sick recently, I was going to the gym, and one of the trainers there showed me this exercise for my shoulders, and it was a modified thing. And it was really weird because you use this like rolly thingy, and then you kind of lean forward all the way until you basically are almost kissing the mirror. And I thought, that's ironic, but okay. And I did it, for a while until I got really sick, and I haven't been able to go back to the gym until probably maybe tomorrow. I'll see how well I feel. But the point of the matter is that my shoulder has much less stiffness. I feel like it broke up a lot of that scar tissuing, and that pain that I had, which I thought, would never happen. So I thought that was really cool. Thought I'd share that with you. Pile number 1. And by the way, I'd like to take a moment to thank all of you guys that have subscribed, like, share, comment, all the things for this channel. Psychicmd is my very first channel, as you guys probably know. I do have a second channel where I have shorter readings, a little bit more, I feel like they're a little bit lighter readings, and that is on the Toughdolltarot channel, where I will link it in the description box below. There's also a September 2024 giveaway in each respective community tab if you want to check those out. Look at Bloodstone. I think that's what I got here, by the way, but I won't swear to it. It's hard to see. Bloodstone, grounding, detoxifying, and balance. So the chakras. Primary chakra is the root chakra, vibration number 4. astrological signs affiliated with Aries, Libra, and Pisces. I welcome transformation and intuition into my life. Bloodstone is comprised of green chalcedony and hematite, creating red spots. This combination creates a powerful healing stone that grounds negative energy and clears the body, enhancing creativity and balance. Okay, so that's really pretty. I can't pronounce that word. But anyways, so this is a message for you, and it kind of is congruent with what we talked about, just moving the body, exercising, and not giving up. So pile number 1, what does your younger self want to tell you currently, please? Messages from your younger self. I've been using this emoji lately a lot more, lucky. So this to me, first off, I'm thinking of like embrace lucky girl syndrome. You guys know what that is. It went kind of wild on TikTok. It went viral everywhere, in fact. But it was these 2 girls that were eating Chinese food takeout in their cars. And they were talking about, you know, lucky girl syndrome and just feeling like, well, I'm lucky. I'm always lucky. Basically, like I'm God's favorite kind of a thing. And I feel like there is an adaptation to that. Adapt it however it is that you feel like is, you know, going to work for you. But I love the pink around it. I feel like your heart chakra is softening, by the way. These are heart chakra colors. You might like, yeah, you might want to get a bloodstone for you. That'll help ground you as well. Also, maybe even a pink tourmaline might be very beautiful for you to have. But look for serendipity with the number 18. Serendipity. Things are happening in sync for you for a reason. And I feel like your younger self might be, yes, you might be really sending those signs for you. So we have new life with the number 39. The number 3 is cooperation, collaboration. The number 9 is almost ending, like something almost ending. So the old has to end in order for the new to begin. And this little fairy-like creature is waking up, but there is like a little mask back here. So it could be that you are unmasking yourself, or yeah, striving to live a different life than you have in quite some time. It doesn't matter how old we are, we can always start anew, right? What do we have to lose? I mean, why continue the same drudgery if we're not happy? And I guess we're going to move this up so y'all can see it. Pile number 1, we have breathe. Maybe doing some breath work. I do feel like you're going to be speaking your truth a lot more, having a lot more serenity, and your crown chakra is popping with messages from spirit from the other side. Keep in mind that we are all spirit embodying just a simple meat suit. And so this body is a part of you, and you know, we need to work it out and treat it with respect, but it is not you. It is just a part that your spirit is embodying currently. Pile number 1. Go the distance. Yeah, with the cheetah, we all know that they're super fast. This cheetah is so fast that it basically lost its hind legs here, taking a leap. And this is like the finish line, presumably, right? So I feel like in spite of what your inner landscape looks like, it's good to go the distance, do the best with what you have. Your dreams are probably not going to be identical to what they were when you were a child. And there are many reasons for that, I'm sure. But I'm just going to say that your inner child is saying definitely go the distance. Pile number 1. We believe in you. Please believe in you a little bit more. And it is time maybe even to wake up, right? With a whole exercise thing being there. It's kind of like wake up and maybe start your day with doing just whatever you can do. I mean, I'm not a gymnast. I'm not a personal trainer, but I definitely want to be your cheerleader. Pile number 1. Everything within capacity. What does your inner child want you to know? Messages from your child self. Infinite abundance. You're fully supported as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. You are so supported. So I even look at her wings. They're so peaceful. She's very happy. I'm seeing all of these wings to me signify like flight, taking off. Things are becoming different. And moths and butterflies, Crystal, use your words. Butterflies definitely signify that there have been changes in your life, and just know that you're divinely supported. Again, with the crown chakra right here, just know that, you know, you have lucky girl, lucky guy syndrome, that you are God's favorite, that you are Spirit's favorite, that you are the universe's favorite, and that you are divinely supported every way, shape, and form, mental, physical, emotional, all the things, okay? And last but not least, yoga. That might be a good way for you to really balance your chakras. Something about your crown chakra, I feel like it could be popping, it could be waking up. Some of you guys also have a shaman that is with you, by the way. This gave me like shaman vibes, and when I looked through it through the camera, that is what I felt and saw. So your life is enhanced by yoga, stretching, and exercise. So, and this person, this yogi, has their mudras going, right? So it is a great thing. Even if you're not physically capable of exercise, maybe perhaps you could do mudras and look those up. There's a book on them, many books on them, and there's even cards on them. So it is a great way to maybe start your day and feel like, yes, you are a light to the world. And simply because you are of whatever age, maybe you've aged out of the beauty pageant industry. Maybe you've aged out of school, or you've aged out of foster care. You know, it could be anything, literally. But you definitely have a new life to start. Don't forget that you are a light and a lamp for this world, and that you come from many generations. It is not just about you. Lean on that support as well. That's what I have for you, is that don't give up. We love you. And if you've divorced yourself emotionally, mentally, spiritually from your younger self, it's time to maybe go back and pick up a couple things from way back when that would really help to satisfy and enrich your life today. So let me know what you think. Give me a thumbs up if you relate, if you resonate. And until next time, namaste. Hi, pile number 2. My name is Griselle with, I'm like, who? With Psychicmd, and I'm here to do your reading. I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell for additional good juju in 3, 2, 1. All right. So, pile number 2, you chose this image on the right-hand side of your screen. So, it was interesting because that was one of the ones that really caught my eye initially. I love the exuberance on this kid's face. I love just having the mouth wide open and having all sorts of like imagination and fun. That's what I'm getting from this image right here. Pile number 2, what the download I got basically from this image, one moment please. There we go. The download I got is not only maybe you were super exuberant, I feel like you could have been poorly misunderstood. You could have had a lot of energy when you were younger, and when you were a child. Maybe you were like labeled ADD, ADHD, or whatever, and maybe even currently, okay? And this could apply also to my TISM family, right? Anybody with any, who's on the spectrum, that would be part of it. But I feel like you could have had such a deep imagination, and you could have had a thing where people just didn't understand you. That's the biggest thing that I'm getting, that your imagination knew no limits, okay? So pile number 2, this is what we have for you. Messages from your younger self, true. Yes, what you're asking about is truth, okay? We're just going to leave this up here. And we have water. Drink more water, eat foods with water in them, such as fresh fruits and vegetables. I don't remember ever seeing this card. And we have simplicity. Put your energy into the basics and let go of excess. Okay. So maybe there is a little thing about like being extra. Put your energy into the basics, right? So pile number 2, your younger self is urging you to really embrace your inner exuberance, but also to make sure that you are not putting too much energy into too many different baskets, and therefore like your focus dissipates, right? We want to make sure that we are focused. I feel like you've done pretty well for yourself. You've had a lot of challenges to overcome, perhaps because of like ADD, difficulty in finishing tasks and things like that, and I can relate to that as well. Pile number 2, we have community. Yeah. This reminds me of, there's ceremonies, I don't know what they're called, but where they have this like thing. It's a whole, it looks like a tent, and it's built out of a skirt, and it's a ceremony where they get these things spinning, and it is said that they're actually like spirit in them, like manipulating them. They stand up on end, they go back down. It's kind of wild. I can never figure it out. Other people are like, no, there's this person in there, but I don't know. The movements are pretty wild. So I'm going to say, yeah, that you've experienced a lot of change. You've come from maybe an area where it's been very dry, maybe even like geographically very dry, maybe like, you know, Africa, or you were, I'm all raised by the zoo. Maybe you went to the zoo often when you were young, but something about the giraffes. I love giraffe because they're really long necks, right? And they can actually graze on fruit and all the things on the trees, on leaves, right? But also they can see danger ahead with their necks. They could see quite a bit further than most of us. And I love how there are all these birds right here. So I feel like you could have grown up in a terrain where things were really difficult. People didn't understand you. They misunderstood you. Maybe because you were like hyper, I don't know, active as you would be labeled, perhaps. Maybe you got scolded quite a bit. Is when you were young, people tried to kind of like downsize your exuberance is what I'm getting. And then imagine, I feel like this imagination, this gift was given to you deliberately. It wasn't just like, oh, oops, you know, it's because you're ADHD and you have a high imagination, and let's quell that and let's make sure it doesn't get out of hand so you can fit into society, that kind of a thing. I feel like that's not the reason why you are the way you are with the number 8. It could have been a repetitious process where you felt like, you know, people would be like, well, you're just too much for me. You had too much energy, or you weren't able to calm that down. I'm hearing that with diet, that could actually really help you. And maybe you're asking why people rejected you, or you felt rejected by people. Or maybe people wanted to kind of lock you in a book, in other words. And this seems kind of sparse, this little corner in your corner of the world. It seemed like maybe people wanted you to kind of read a book and hush up and that kind of a thing. With the number 31 reduced into a 4, stands to me for balance. Sorry, I'm still congested from being ill. But I feel like your younger self is telling you to really bring it back down to simplicity. What is it that gives you joy? And no longer like diversify so much that you kind of disperse yourself. You have high energy, so treat it as such. You know yourself best. Maybe you do need to exercise more or simplify and have less things going on so that you can kind of breathe more and enjoy yourself more and focus on what it is that is important to you. Go to the sea. Oh, to the sea. Oh, and there is a face in here. I'm sure you guys can see that, right? So maybe even going to the ocean might help you. This is a little, I think it's a telescope, and that's a little navigational arrow. And then you got the bubbles. How cute. But go to the sea. Go wherever it is that gives you the most peace, the most calm. Make sure that you do it kind of routinely, maybe quarterly if you possibly can. That would be good. Even sitting next to the ocean can have like a bunch of benefits for you. And so far as like detoxifying and helping to cleanse out some of that energy, residual energy. I'm hearing also that tapping might be really helpful for you, like tapping, right? In order to get rid of excess energy and emotions that are trapped and locked in. For some of you guys, you need to do, you'd benefit, not need, you'd benefit from doing a lot of those like hip exercises. If your hips are stiff, it is said to have a lot of memories locked in there. And so you might want to look that up as well. I kind of want to read this one first. Oh, what is that? Botswana agate. I don't even know how to say that word. Here's a word I can't pronounce. Stability, creativity, and soothing. That is really pretty. I do have a couple of these, by the way. I didn't know what they were called, Abby. So the chakra pertains to is the sacral. Yeah, what gives you pleasure? The vibration is the number 3. Affiliated with Gemini, and Scorpio. I gently heal and release as I build upon myself. What am I telling you? You guys have some residual energies, and this could be like energies trapped in like muscle memory or memories of lifetimes ago as well. I said that bad, but I hope you understand. Pile number 2, this is my first channel. My second channel is called Toughdolltarot, where I have over, how many videos? Maybe like 30, if I'm lucky. So 30 videos-ish, somewhere around there. And for you to peruse, they are shorter videos. They're about 15 minutes long, and they're a little bit lighter as far as what we read on that channel. So I do have also September 2024 giveaways on each channel. You'll just need to go to community tab on each and follow those directions. Pile number 2, Botswana agate has a gentle and healing vibration. The layers remind us that we're always building upon our life's experiences and help support us emotionally. Its soothing energy helps with depression and anxiety. So verbena is creativity, healing, and happiness, but also protection. So it's very beautiful. I have a couple that have like an inlay of silver around that I feel like are fascinating. But yeah, the thing is for you to get into your core, into calmness, into wholeness once again. And maybe like yourself, like myself, I need to drink more water. Yeah, for sure. So make sure that you are taking care of self. Wearing the color green or teal or like aquamarine can be really helpful at this time as well. Pile number 2. I'm also hearing music could be really helpful for you to getting out excess energy as well as dancing. What I tell you, nutrition. You conduct healing work with your culinary skills. Maybe you are a chef. Maybe you're somebody who does holistic medicine, or you cook like raw. That's an oxymoron, but you get my point. Look at her wing. She's so beautiful. So I feel like just bringing it back into what is going to benefit you fully is really, should be your focus. You have a lot of purple right here. I feel like you'd make a lot of great strides and progress on mental clarity, on your energy. I feel like you would actually rebalance your body, your entire, all these systems, even the vagus nerve, the sympathetic, parasympathetic nerve, all that. Practice, polish your skills, and by practicing regularly. And your younger self wants to remind you, keep in mind that like practice makes quote perfect. That's what they say. But really, what do they say? You have to put in like 10,000 hours in order to get good at something. I think I just made that number up, but I think you get the point, right? So you have to put in so much before you become proficient, let alone like really good at something. And I just want to encourage you, like everybody starts like started from the bottom. Now we're here. Did I just see a supersonic fast squirrel going up the tree? That was kind of wild. But yeah, practice makes perfect, but just practice for the sake of having fun, enjoying yourself, and making sure that, you know, if you keep things in balance, your water intake and your nutrition, making sure that it is going to be healthy, not so many dyes and synthetic things and things that are like GMOs and all the other stuff that now appeal. Yeah, I said it. We need to watch out for. Just make sure that you are really taking it on in a serious manner. And your very last card is a change in the wind. I feel like you can really enjoy yourself. Yeah, and something about navigation, your trajectory is about the change. I feel like your entire life's trajectory can change, even with this nutrition. If you learn how to heal yourself via nutrition or get some help and things like that, perhaps you're able to inspire or help other people, or you can actually develop a channel that really helps people with ADHD or ADD, and really you can share your own observations and all of your changes as well, right? This looks like a little cabana. Is it a cabana or gazebo, I think? And we have a lot of like flying things right here. So I feel like just making sure that you dream, that you get grounded, but make sure that there's a polarity in everything. And I think just take time to rest and kind of be mindful about your breathing too. That might help you. But knowing that everything has a polarity within itself, otherwise we won't recognize like the one without the other, is going to be very important to you. Also, like architecture could be important to you. I mean, dinosaurs. Forensics actually could be a thing for you as well. Maybe you deal in those disciplines right now. Okay, I said last card, but here's the last card, fork in the road. So yeah, you have a lot of things, and you might want to go to the past to kind of pick up something that you have left behind that maybe once upon a time you wanted to dedicate. And I see you kind of like reworking things. So if it's like a health and a thing, like a nutrition thing, then I feel like you're going to approach it from a different way, a different aspect, and a different way of looking at things. So if it's agriculture or dealing with structures and facilities, I think that you're just going to really rethink things and kind of tweak it in order to really serve you a lot better, like who you are, to bring that artistic value into light as well. And I feel like it's going to be very well appreciated and received. And I think it's just going to come about in the most uncanny, authentic way possible. I'm also hearing there's a book called, I think, 3 Cups of Tea. I read it years and years ago, and I was pretty fascinated with it. So you might want to look that up. That could have something to do with, you know, the fork in the road. And the principle of 3 cups of tea is making sure that, you know, you don't talk business before you have that 3rd cup of tea. I think that's how it goes, but gosh, I'd be going to the bathroom all the time if that were me. So anyways, you get the point, but I hope that everyone is doing super well. Let me know what you think about this reading, and until next time, namaste. Hi, Pal 3. My name is Griselle with Psychicmd, and I'm here to do your reading. Pal number 3, messages from your younger self. What does your younger self have to tell you? I'm going to go ahead and ring the bell for additional good juju. And 3, 2, 1. All right. Messages from your younger self. Now, pile number 3, you chose this lovely image on the right-hand side of the screen. And to be perfectly frank, I was very captivated by it. I'm looking at all the detail, all the matchy-matchy stuff. I mean, this is like a girl's girl, a guy's guy. This is somebody who likes everything to be a certain way. I feel like you could have had like miniature doll houses when you were growing up, that kind of a thing. But if not, I feel like you have the artistry in order to pull that off into your adult life, if that makes any sense. I personally have been really fascinated with the doll houses and how you can even have like a television. You could buy for $70 a television, a real TV for your dollhouse, folks. You too can have one. But pile number 3, tell me why, before I started your reading right away, I heard, and keep in mind, my voice is really funny, and plus I'm no singer. We all know that. But I heard that song, I'm only human, of flesh and blood, a man. What? And then she flips and she's all, how does it go? The tears I cry aren't tears of shame, is it? They're only to hide my grief and shame. I forgive you, and now I ask the same of you. While you were apart, I was human too, or something like that. I'm like, get out of here. I know I botched the accent. Don't mock me on my accents. Not my thing. But anyway, so I don't know who's thinking about you, what's going on. They're trying to infiltrate your reading, and I told them I would have their second, and there it is, and we're done with that. So apparently somebody's trying to like make up with you and say that they were only human, but hey, what's up, if that's you? Pile number 3, messages from your younger self. What do we have for thee? You have unfinished symphony. Something is not quite done. Do we see the face? See the face and the blue egg right here? And I'm looking at this beautiful person sitting on top of the egg. So it seems like you have been birthing something or hatching something, for lack of a better way of putting it, right? Bringing something into the world. But it is an unfinished symphony. There it has you know how they have like undertones and kind of like similar when you do hair, you can have low lights and highlights or maybe both, that kind of a thing in order to contrast. And I'm sure that musically there's got to be like some notes that really kind of create the other notes to kind of pop and whatnot. And I'm feeling like you're missing like a whole chord or something like that, if that makes sense. I'm no musician here. Time to go. Okay. So unfinished business, time to go. We have time for a nap. We're everywhere. It's always time for a nap. Pile number 3. That's what's up. We have to be fair. Okay, this is like all the way across, and I feel almost like I'm not going to get anything straightforward for you guys, but let's see what comes through. Pile number 3 with the unfinished symphony. There's something that you definitely need to maneuver away from in order to head towards. Now, this is a quintessential case of like one door closes, another one opens. And because of the image that you selected before that I started talking about, that I totally got derailed myself. I mean, hello. I'm going to say that it's very detail oriented, that you could be very detail oriented. Maybe perhaps you get bogged down in the details. And literally what I heard in my head was bogged down in the deets. Like, I don't talk like that, but that's what I heard for you. Pile number 3, a message from your younger self. Message from your younger self to you. It's time to go. It's time to like stop daydreaming, stop thinking, okay, this is when it's going to be ready, when this blue egg cracks. And blue has a lot to do with like your vocal cords. You could be a musician, you could sing, you could be a speaker on some kind of form of I almost said platform, okay? Platform. But I feel like this platform can kind of oscillate. It's not anything set, kind of like a TED Talk that's set, okay? It's, you know, preset. You'll have this amount and this much time, and then we're going to upload it to YouTube, and that's going to be your thing, right? But I feel like whatever this platform is, it can really oscillate, and you have the ability to enter different venues is what I see for you, okay? So pile number 3, not everything has to be perfectly matchy-matchy. Not everything has to be like exactly coordinating. And I want you to observe that little image that you chose on the right-hand side of the screen. It's got that little rocket, that red little rocket that she's kind of holding up as well. And I want to tell you that that doesn't really like totally match exactly what's going on in that room either. But if you see, she is prepared to travel. She has a little piece of luggage by her, and we read energy, not sex. So I feel like you could have been like very girly when you were a child, or very effeminate. Is that what they would call it nowadays? I would say probably, in my mind, it would be more androgynous, androgyny. I can't use my words, do forgive. So I'm just going to say that I feel like you could have been very meticulous, like with your attire, and wanted to like use all the bows instead of like maybe one bow that you had for outfit, that kind of a thing. Or you wanted to mix and match different patterns and things like that. And I feel like that's how you experience life, and that's what gives you, I'm hearing exclusivity. So whatever this is, your younger self is here to encourage you to not just be so set on a pattern and a path that looks like, you know, this would mesh well with my future, and this would mesh well with my life and my background, and so on and so forth. I feel like your younger self is saying diversify a little bit more, leave things open, and quit the control, like the maneuvers and the control, and having to be the only one within the orchestra. With an orchestra, you would anticipate to have many more different people playing instruments and or singing. You can be like a one-man band, right? But typically in an orchestra, we have many different members. And I'm just thinking that your younger self is saying be open to a lot more than what you would think, right? Be open to a multitude of collaborative energies and things like that, because that's where your success lies. Now, time to go really talks about a departure from something. And if I'm looking at that little room and it's like cluttered and it's got a lot of stuff going on, it's super cute. But I feel like leaving behind the safety of what was, leaving behind the things that like totally make sense, maybe, and taking a risk on something that's like a little bit more outlandish. Like maybe perhaps you were a, is it a lyricist? Somebody who writes lyrics, and you know, you're really good with like your poetry, or you like to just write lyrics, new lyrics to old tunes and things like that. Maybe it's writing lyrics to something that you would never thought you would apply them, like shooting your shot at doing commercials, or shooting your shot at doing jingles and things like that, or just simply being open, maybe like playing a venue and trying to be like an opener, just doing something totally different. The road is unpaved. I feel like there are a lot of stars right here. I feel like you've experienced a lot of success. I even almost saw that like a star as well, that cloud. Stars right here. I don't see any stars here. But there are definitely, I mean, a little witch's hat. Is that what that is? Oh, it's a fortune cookie. Hello, Grisel. Hello again. And this is like having everything in a balance. And while that's great, I feel like the owl would be a little bit of a warning, not only just to have things in a balance, but to make sure that you are looking at all of your opportunities around you, because you could really be missing out on a lot. I feel also that your younger self is talking about opportunities that you could really expand financially that you are not really even aware of, because you're kind of like, oh, well, I'm a country singer. That's who I am. Well, that's great. But can this country singer write jingles? And can this country singer cameo for commercials? And, you know, can they write material for other people? And can they write material for comedians? I don't know. I think you get the gist of what I'm talking about. And so I'm going to say, pile number 3, pay attention to your dreams. Now, I don't know if you can see this face right here. I didn't actually see that, but it seems like this little fox, super clever, right? But you want to take a nap and make sure you want to take a nap. Listen to me. Pile number 3, take a nap. Wink, wink. Everything will be just fine. That's kind of what happens in my brain. But I'm going to say that anything that you are dreaming of, whether it's you are in a trance-like state and kind of dreaming in your mind, that kind of a thing during waking hours, or if you are like literally having dreams and things like that, might be a good idea for you to write those down, because I feel like you could come up with something very clever in those dreams. So don't let go of your dreams, and don't forget about the magic that a lot of times things do come from literal dreams, right? So it is a little bit of a warning for you to come back within yourself and come back within like being a child once again in some ways, but don't be so like this is how it's always done and how I've always been able to create and I've always made the music. I can't let other people like collaborate or change my music up, because that'll mess me up, and that's just not how I work. Being a little bit more free-spirited than that, okay? So pile number 3, and angel light. I'm all Angelite. No. That's just as good as one of my coworkers trying to call Summer, and he said Sumer, because we're working in a mostly 80% Latino demographics, right? So we call people up, Guadalupe, es su turno. Well, he thought he was going to be like, Sumer, it's your turn. That didn't quite go well for him. Anyways, angel light, awareness, communication, and higher self. The primary chakra is the throat chakra, and that has to do with like the singing, vocalization, being on stage, I feel, performing, things like that. Affirmation, I'm connected to source energy and my higher self. Angel light helps facilitate connection to higher realms through communication. Its overall energies are very soothingly peaceful and uplifting, making this a great stone for times of transition, spiritual growth, and communication. What is that? Nymphasia? Okay, we're going to call it Blue Lotus before I say something that I get banned for. Hi, Coco. Coco says, yep, you need the stone. It stands for purity, wisdom, and higher self. The angel light. Very gentle. I love that. Pile number 3. What do we have for the messages from your younger self? Let go. Walk away from the situation in order to resolve it. It's okay to let go, to walk away. You got your little faithful healer right here. Your faithful little buddy, like I do at my foot right here. Hi, buddy. Hi. Even though he doesn't like me to pet him no more. Kind of a brat. Yeah, walk away from the situation and know that you'll get the answer when you need it, not when you keep pushing. I'm all, push it. Push it good. Freedom. You're free to do what you choose. So I feel like you're going to gain a lot of freedom by simply letting things go. Maybe you're somebody like myself. I get things in my head. And big surprise, pile number 3, I cannot let go. I have like, if you picture my brain, it's a steel trap, okay? It's a little bit like a shark. It's like once it gets its jaws onto something, it's not going to let go. Including if its jaws lock onto like a vehicle or something that's not even edible, right? So we want to be aware that we want to be less that, and we want to be more fluid, because things will go a lot easier for you. I'll tell you, I should know these things. So pile number 3, what do we have for thee? I want to find out a couple of messages, some more messages, because we have some time. And pile number 3, as you know, this is my second channel. Nope, this is my first channel. So Psychicmd is my very first channel that I created, and I opened it and then I let it sit for years, and then I did 1 or 2 things and let it sit for more years, and here we are today. Thank you so much, by the way, for your subscriptions and for all your comments and your attention. Now my other channel, goodness, Griselle, it is called Toughdolltarot, and it is a little bit like of a smaller channel. Well, actually, it's competing well with this one. It's a little bit lighter vibrationally, I think. It's a little bit lighter in topics and things like that, I feel. And usually it's going to be shorter in duration. So if you want to check that channel out, it's called Toughdolltarot. And I do have, just so you guys know, September 2024 giveaway in each respective channel. Look at the community tab in order to see what the prereqs are for that. What else does your inner child want to know? Messages from your younger self. Pile number 3, we have the 10 of coins. You have a lot of loyal people. You have ancestors looking after you, pulling for you. You have a lot going for you already. We have the Queen of Wands. You have a lot of desire, a lot of mojo, a lot of your own, like, up and comethness. That's not even a word, and I just made it up. But I feel like with the Queen of Wands, this is about, like, business. This is about getting fired up, excited about whatever it is that you do. Pile number 3, we have the King. Oh, we have the Knight of Cups, right? So yeah, we have the ability to communicate with our emotions and also to create. So you have that creativity and that fieriness in order to execute those creative endeavors. I feel like you can definitely be launching. I feel like you're branching out on your business. Even if you do not work for yourself, folks, we don't all have to be like 1049s, right? Is that what it is, 1045? Who knows? But you know what I'm talking about. Pile number 3, we have love. The answer you're seeking is love. What? Love yourself. Worth waiting for. Yes, you are. Your patience will be rewarded. Yeah, I feel like you guys are like a hodgepodge full of different things. I feel like if you're looking at romance and things like that, your younger self is saying, hey, you are worth waiting for. There's something to be said about foxes. Hey, pile number 3, I think you're a fox, by the way. I think that that's the message. And pile number 3, you are gifted. You're very intelligent and talented. And not just because you're on this channel hearing some stranger on YouTube tell you that, yes, validating you. Pile number 3, you are the epitome of love. And I feel like what your younger self is saying is continue doing what you love, but be open to input from other people. Be open to experimenting in different ways. If you're a costume designer, be open to different eras or blending thereof. Be open to even blending your own different, types of clothing in order to create something new, different, and vibrant. And with all this worth waiting for, I think all of it is worth waiting for. I think you're very connected spiritually. Pile number 3, I think that you have an ability to tap in to the divine. And for some of you guys, I feel like you're so connected that you can do like astral projection, stuff like that. That is not my favorite. I would say no thank you for now. But each to your own. I don't judge it. It's just, yeah, not my jam for now. Anyways, things can change. Also, I feel like you have a lot of history, okay? I feel like you have a lot of history. People feel very close to you, that you have a lot of history. within yourself, I feel like you could be somebody who could have journaled for many, many years, such as I did. Or you could have written lyrics or have like manuscripts sitting around kind of half hammered out, needing to really be finished off and things like that. Something about you is born and bred for the spoken word, is born and bred to be shown, is born and bred to be seen. Okay, so if you feel like you have any hang-ups about like, gosh, I just feel unsightly, I feel awkward, I feel like I don't pronounce things perfectly, like, you know, such as myself, or I feel kind of like I don't really know how to get the attention of, you know, a collective audience, and then, you know, start talking to them in a way. I mean, like, how would I say that? How would I go about that? What if I did try to publish a book? Who would buy it? Things like that. I feel like pile number 3, you are harshly underestimating yourself. And I'm just going to say that you have everything in order to bring it into fruition, okay? You just need to be a little bit more fluid than what you typically want to do. You have a lot of options right here. And these options, when you do decide, they are going to bring you a lot of stability. And look at how blue she is. I never noticed this lady. It's kind of a new deck, but I feel like you're going to be able to be led forth into a celebration, celebratory thing. Maybe you're doing something for a celebration. Maybe you're going to cater a party, or you're going to be part of the entertainment some way, somehow. But part of it, she's all blue, and this is just like expressing yourself, however it is that you do it best, whether it's through words or deeds or craft or like material or decor, anything like that. Put your best foot forward, and again, keeping an open mind, because you're on a whole new trajectory. Whatever it is that you are doing, be open and do it with love. And I'm going to say that wearing lavender or purple, I can't even speak correctly, are going to be really, really helpful for you in this point in time. So that's what I have for you. Much, much love to you. Until next time, namaste.